Welcome to the Philantrepreneur Show, hosted by Dr. Victoria Boyd, designed to offer tips, strategies, and insights to empower nonprofits and entrepreneurs with sustainable win-win solutions. The Philantrepreneur Show is sponsored by the Philantrepreneur Foundation, building capacity through education and professional services.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Philantrepreneur Show. This is Dr. Victoria Boyd, president and founder of the Galaxy Group, and my co-host Heidi Anderson, founder of Credit Cares and president of Electronic Commerce International. As always, we are thrilled to be present this morning for the Philantrepreneur Show, featuring our special guest, John Carr. He is the founder of the Charitable Giving Foundation. I'm especially excited to meet him this morning. But Heidi, give us a little introduction of John and tell our audience a little about how you know him.
Oh, thank you, Victoria. I had the wonderful opportunity this past July to attend CEO Space and was so blessed to connect with Mr. Carr. He's one of the most warm, wonderful, generous human beings I've ever met. We found that my Credit Cares project and his Charitable Giving Foundation were very much in alignment. So we stayed in touch and talked a few times, and I immediately put Electronic Commerce International on the Charitable Giving Foundation site. I asked John to be the first guest on our show because he is the perfect illustration of a philantrepreneur. John is recognized for having the first known transaction of cause marketing, which means engaging charities and businesses to support one another. You can actually find this fact on Wikipedia.
Wow, that's great. So, John, welcome to the Philantrepreneur Show. Tell us when and how you came up with the concept of the CGF. Just to give us some background on that.
Well, the concept came about as I was working with charities for many, many years, and they wanted me to see if I could come up with a concept of raising more funds in unique ways. So I decided in 1974 to visit some businesses and see what if I could get the charities I was on the board for to send them their supporters, would they be willing to make a donation back to that charitable organization? And, of course, the question I always got was, how much do we have to give back? And I said, well, no more than you normally spend for marketing to get your normal customers. So I went back to the charities, and they sent their supporters, and the businesses provided the products and services, and donations went back to the charities. And in 1974, Charitable Giving Foundation was born as I was putting businesses and charities together as a win-win situation to benefit the consumer as well as the businesses and the charities.
Wow.
Oh,
yes.
What an amazing concept. You really were a pioneer. Well, what is your professional background, and how does that play into your role and founder of and CEO of the Charitable Giving Foundation?
Well, I was actually a financial advisor and planner for many years, and I've always been I've always had a heart of helping other people. So one of the best ways for me to help people was through finances, I guess. So I started working, and I was Dr. Bright's personal financial consultant for a number of years, and we set up a special corporation just for Campus Crusade for Christ, for example, and we helped generate funds for the volunteers that had to raise their own support. So my background, in the last 15 years, I worked for one of the most prestigious law firms here in Newport Beach and conducted estate and financial planning seminars, primarily in churches and charitable organizations. And then, of course, my compensation, then I would give back to these organizations. My wife and I take no salary or any personal expenses. So two things. We eliminated conflicts of interest this way, and we also, that way, allow for more funds to go back to the charitable organizations that we want to support.
Wow, I think I remember you telling me at one. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to throw this in. I think I remember you telling me that you had worked with Zig Ziglar in the past. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yes. Zig was one of my best friends. He and I worked for the same company many, many years ago, and before he went out on his own to do his motivational business, he wanted me to be a partner with him, and I was generating too much income at the time and didn't want to leave that particular company, so he went out on his own. But we've been business associates and friends for many, many years, and he's up on our website. He passed away, as you know, last November, but he was up on our website prior to that time. And Zig left me with something that I'll never forget. Before he even made this famous, he said, John, if you'll continue doing what you're doing now, which is helping others find out what they want in life and helping them get it, you'll automatically get what you want. And as you know, Zig's written this in his books. He's outed this from the platform, and this is one of his famous sayings that he gave me way back in the early 1960s, if you want to go back that far. So he was a great mentor of mine.
That's beautiful.
Well, yeah, just having Zig Ziglar as a mentor, or even holding conversation with him is great. Share some of those other amazing, impactful stories that that are a direct result of what you're doing with the foundation.
Well, Campus Crusade is a big, important one. I guess one of the other ones is my own church. I've done several seminars in my church, and through the Charitable Giving Foundation, we've raised several millions of dollars for the church. We had a building program, and our church is one of the top 10 mega churches or 25 churches in the country. And that was a real, and they have me teaching stewardship classes. I teach stewardship classes monthly in our church. And I think one of the exciting things about this is our church printed up a flyer and promotes our foundation through the church. And right at the top of the flyer they printed up, it says, what if you could have a portion of what you spend go to Mariners Church? And this sort of sums up what we do. Very easy for people to support their favorite cause just through their normal purchases. And this has been a real exciting thing to me, to my own church. And I think, of course, one of the reasons is I've eliminated the conflicts of interest by taking no salary or personal expenses. And that way more funds can go back to these organizations, including churches, but any worthwhile charitable organization that has a worthy cause, I will approve and put their site up on our website. We pay the hosting fee, we pay the setup fee, and all the ongoing hosting fees, so there's never any cost to the organizations that we support through our foundation.
What I love about that story is how the church actually is reaching out to the members and helping you get that word out. I think that's a really important element of the idea of being a philantrepreneur is engaging the actual nonprofit or church, school, whatever it happens to be, in helping get the word out instead of sitting back and wanting money thrown at them. They're actually going, you know what, I'm going to help these businesses help me, and I think that's beautiful the way that you've done that. How do other nonprofits, how do they get in? How do they get on the side of you? I know it's easy; they go on and they register. But what's the best way for us to direct them there and explain to them how the whole thing works?
That's good, Heidi, because that's very important. Getting the message out. I just went on the internet a few years ago, and they said I was one of the best kept secrets, but I only worked through my relationships and personal contacts for many, many years. And of course, we started this before the cell phones and internet and everything else. But one of the easiest ways is for the organization to go on our website, click on the causes button at the top of the website, and when they scroll down, they can click on the organization's link on the drop-down, and then they can fill out the submission form. We allow them to control the content and the contact information on their site. And then our webmaster will put up their own site on our website. So they've got their own site. We encourage them to include pictures. We encourage them to use even link videos on there, logos. We want them to put their best foot forward. Then, of course, they encourage their supporters, donors, and constituents to visit our website to do hopefully all of their shopping, but as much as their shopping as they can, because then we redirect a donation back to that organization on all the purchases people make over our website.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Wow.
And do you have any suggestions of ways that the nonprofits can get the word out to, like you mentioned your church did it in their church bulletin or in letter to the congregation or whatever. What can you think of other ways that we can help drive more businesses more consumers to the site to shop on your site and support the nonprofits?
Very good question, Heidi. Yeah. We don't want to put any pressures on the organizations, but we do encourage them, and we do recommend that they include information and instructions about how they can participate with the Charitable Giving Foundation in all of their normal communications. A lot of organizations email their supporters and donors. Many of them have newsletters. They have different events. They can announce it there. The main thing is just communicate it in all the different ways that the charities communicate with their constituents now. This way, they don't have to go out of their way. They don't have to spend any money. They just include the Charitable Giving Foundation in all their different ways of communicating with their supporters, constituents, and the people they have in their databases, for example.
Yeah,
perfect.
And many of them need to explore the whole marketing concept of how to increase that. Just working with nonprofits myself, it's their marketing strategies, and it's easily integrated right into what they're doing. So what businesses will we find on your site right now?
Oh, my goodness. We have over 100 different businesses. We have, of course, Amazon.com is one of the largest and most popular shopping malls in the world, and millions of different products that people can purchase there. GoDaddy is one of our other affiliate programs, the Entertainment Book. And our shopping malls include all of your major retailers, Walmart, Nordstrom's, Staples, Lowe's. I mean, I could go on. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to develop a concept that the consumer can go one place, one-stop shopping, we like to call it. They can go to one place, which is the Charitable Giving Foundation website, and purchase almost any product or any service that they'd ever want to need and use. And the reason I came up with this concept originally was primarily for people who couldn't dig in their pocket to make a donation, sit down and write out a check. And this was a vast, massive marketplace that most charities weren't even tapping before, because they actually wanted donations for people that had the money to make the donations, and they used golf tournaments and major events and things like that to generate funds. And here I came along. I just remembered that everyone was a consumer, even struggling college students, unemployed people, people that didn't have much money. They still were consumers. So if I could somehow tap into the consumer marketplace, then every single breathing human, even little babies, for example, are consumers. Their parents have to buy their products for them,
Right.
even pets and animals and so on. So this concept came to me in a way to help everybody that wanted to support a favorite cause but maybe didn't have the finances to do so.
Okay, so we're going to have a bunch of tiny little philantrepreneurs walking around.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you know, and it's interesting because, like, I shop on Amazon all the time, and so if I go to Amazon through the Charitable Giving Foundation, do I still, like, log on like I would, but they just see that I linked in through you, so that's how they make their contribution? Is that how that works, or?
Very good question. In fact, one of the pastors in one of my churches uses Amazon all the time, so he wanted to test it. So he went in, and he said all I had to do was make one extra click. I go to your website, and you've got Amazon right in the very front home page. I clicked on that, and I went to the exact same website, which is Amazon.com's website, and I did all my shopping just like I normally did. So the only thing I had to do differently to support my church and get a donation back to my church was to go to your website, click on the Amazon.com link, and just do my normal shopping, and that's how seamless it is. And with the technology that we have today, we're able to do many of these things that we normally couldn't do before.
And he was actually able to see, as the church, the result is the donation came in from Amazon, right?
In fact, instead of sending him the check, he wanted to know if I could come to his church and present him with a check, and then he would explain to his several thousand family members of his church that they could do the same thing. And that way, they're seeing a check that's been given by the Charitable Giving Foundation for him shopping over the Amazon.com website. He sent me his receipts that he got from Amazon just to make sure that the donations got directly to his church. And, of course, that gave us an opportunity to expose the members of his church to all the other wonderful vendors on our website and all the other merchants that we have. So when people realize that they can purchase almost anything, and the key to our program, Heidi, Dr. Boyd, is really we're not asking people to be sold on a certain product or brand or whatever. We want them to be able to purchase the very same products they're purchasing now. So they're not spending any additional money. They're not being sold anything. They're just, again, using the same habits that they have always used and be able to support their favorite cause without it costing them any money. And I require every business that's on our website, in their agreement, they have to agree that they cannot increase the price of their product or their service to make up for the contributions they make back to our foundation that we make our donations from. So that way the consumer is assured that they're going to spend and pay the same amount that they've always spent for their normal everyday purchases.
Right. Yeah, and because I got on, played around on your site a bit, and I noticed that it's not just consumers, although businesses are consumers, but you have some business to business links too for people who do, web design and what have you. But also, you have financial planners. You have just a huge variety that people may not think to go there for. So I want to make sure that people understand. I mean, Amazon's huge, but if you've got some really talented, financial planners on there, that's great.
That's good, Heidi. And now keep in mind, this is going to age me a little bit, but I go back over 50 years, and I've tried to retain and maintain credible and honest and ethical relationships with people that I've met over my entire lifetime. And obviously I've met some very wonderful people, far sharper than myself, so I've been able to have them come on the site. They're willing to offer their services, so I got wonderful law firms, financial planners, like you say, tax preparers. We just have about everything on there, so a person now can go to one place, keep it easy, keep it simple, and easily support their favorite causes just with their normal purchases. So we're very proud, and we're adding more businesses all the time, and we just went on the internet a few years ago, so the word's just now getting around. And then, like you mentioned, Heidi, meeting me at the CEO Space International, where we had hundreds of individuals and hundreds of businesses and charitable organizations there. Many of those people now are finding about us, and they're coming up on our website.
And definitely through the Philantrepreneur Show, they're going to hear about you more because both Heidi and I work with nonprofits and businesses. So it's a good platform, and what you're doing is incredible for building relationships, creating the whole platform for being a philantrepreneur. At this time, we're going to take a real quick commercial break, but we will be back in just a moment.
Hey, are you a small business owner like me who wants to make a charitable contribution and needs easy access to charitable giving sources that you can automate for your business for free? Then I invite you to visit www.credit-cares.com. They have charitable giving options using their innovative merchant platform that helps nonprofits raise money and helps merchants make contributions at no additional cost to them using the products and services of Electronic Commerce International. Our giving options are easy to set up for small business. So if you have a business entity, we can donate in your business name. Go to www.credit-cares.com and see how you can make a difference every day by doing what you already do. Go to www.credit-cares.com and fill out the form or call 855-782-2737 for more information on how your business can be a difference maker in your community.
Well, welcome back, everyone, and we're here with John Carr. And John, you wrote the Charitable Giving Foundation is a simple concept with a big heart and unlimited possibilities. Do you care to elaborate on this?
Yeah, actually, it's such a great concept because it's enabling any individual to participate. And I've noticed over the years that just people that before couldn't afford to support their favorite causes now because they have a vehicle through our foundation, it's improved their self-esteem immensely. Now they feel not only can they volunteer their time and efforts and energies, but they can actually give financially without digging into their budgets, and it's just automatically from their purchases. And most people realize that every product and services has a built-in cost of marketing, however they advertise, radio, newspaper, magazines, or whatever. And this is the only portion of the price that the consumer pays that the foundation asks the merchants to give a portion of it back so we can make those donations. So it's a very simple concept with a big heart, and the main thing we want to do is redirect what people are already spending, at least part of that, to their favorite causes. So this sets up a win-win-win. The consumer wins, the merchants and businesses win, and of course the charities and nonprofits win. When we first started in 1974, guess what our motto was? It was together we will make a difference. A few years later, with the successes we had, we changed it, which it is now, and it's together we are making a difference. So this gives you some idea of where we've been and where we're coming, and I think the future holds even brighter rewards, because I think the best is yet to come.
Well, and that's beautiful. And you also wrote, and I want to, because there's one thing we have not touched on here. You said there are a few callings in life more important than helping others. This is our goal: with compassion and integrity, shop, give, and earn, while supporting charitable causes and individuals in need. We've covered the shop. I think we've covered the give. What's the earn part?
This is very interesting because I wasn't normally going to include this, but several charities approached me and said, John, you have a marketing background and everything. Can you figure out how we can keep our volunteers from leaving us? Because usually when they get a job and they get their heart and act together, they go out and they leave us. And I said, there's only one way I can think of it, and that's pay them. And they said, well, we can't afford to pay our volunteers. I said, what if I would pay them? And we wouldn't take what I pay them out of what we donate to you. They said, you got to be kidding me. How could we ever object to that? At that point, Don and I were taking an income from our foundation. So we decided, since I'd been very successful, I retired at the age of 34, financially independent. So Don and I decided that we would take what we normally got as our income from our foundation and redirect that to individuals that would then support these charitable organizations. So we came up with the idea of having a certified associate, and these were merely paid volunteers. This is not a marketing program. It's not a direct sales program, because these are individuals that refer these organizations to us. And I didn't want to just love them and leave them. I just didn't want to put the charitable organization up on our website and not give them any help. A lot of them didn't have personnel that they could promote the foundation with. So these paid volunteers now became certified associates, and their responsibility is to support and help and motivate and train the different organizations, individuals, and even merchants that they bring into our foundation. So this turned out to be a way where people could earn an additional income. We don't make any promises. We don't want to build it up too much. We'd rather promise a little and deliver a lot. But these certified associates then are supporters of the very people they're referring to our foundation. So obviously the charities and organizations loved it. The merchants also liked it because a lot of times they were busy. So these individuals now receive compensation. Even though Don and I don't take an income, we don't expect other people to work for nothing. So we compensate them, and there's enough to go around. It's called a sharing and caring program. And if you care enough and you share enough, there's enough in that pie to help everybody get what they would like to get out of life. And that's one of my and Donna's concepts. We want to help as many people get what they want out of life as we possibly can. And guess what? That takes care of us.
Yes,
absolutely. Yep. You've really created the ultimate win-win-win situation. I think you are the perfect illustration of a philantrepreneur. Victoria, do you have anything else you want to add?
Well, I love when John said love them and leave them. But and not leave them.
Don't leave them.
Don't leave them. My brain was thinking ahead, because on the Philantrepreneur Show, we always like to leave our listeners with what I call takeaways, some nuggets of information, learning tips. And so, John, are there a couple of takeaways that you would like our listeners to remember from what you offer, what you present, and who you are?
Yeah, that's a great question, Victoria, and I think in repeating myself, it's very easy for people through the Charitable Giving Foundation to be able to give back to their favorite cause. Notice I say favorite cause. If a consumer doesn't see their favorite charitable cause up on our website, they can refer them to our website, and their favorite cause can go up on our website. And, of course, we pay the setup fee and the hosting fees and everything else, so there's no cost for them, because we want the consumer to know that they're supporting their favorite cause, not mine or Donna's favorite cause or your favorite cause, their favorite cause. That gives them that much more incentive to come to our website to do their shopping, which is automatic.
Absolutely.
And so the listeners know how to get involved. All they have to do is go to the www.charitablegivingfoundation.org. They can even call me at my phone, 949-222-0533. My email is jcarr@charitablegivingfoundation.org. Being a servant, I'm available 365, 24/7. All I want to do is try to generate as much funding as I possibly can to all the charitable organizations that are out there that need the funds.
Absolutely. Well, what I'm going to do is make sure that I get your information up on the Philantrepreneur website, on my Galaxy Group website, because my service is to nonprofit training and management to really spread the word. And John, thank you for being on the show. I mean, you have brought a wealth of information, and I'm sure the nonprofits need to really find out and get connected with you, because you're providing a service that basically costs them nothing. They just have to implement their marketing plan.
Could I say one more thing? We're also looking for merchants, so if there's any businesses out there that are interested in getting more customers, and we found over the years that the customers that come from the Charitable Giving Foundation are much more loyal, because every time they go back to that merchant, they know a donation's going to their favorite cause, so the merchants get very loyal, ongoing, continual customers.
Okay.
Well, John, yeah.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you so much. And I really look forward to Electronic Commerce International's future with the Charitable Giving Foundation, because, as I mentioned earlier in the intro, we can be found there as well.
I can't wait to start really promoting you and helping you as well, Heidi.
Thanks, John.
Okay, one final tip from the Philanthropreneur. Thank you. From the Philantrepreneur show is that, as John was saying, create partnerships. The single event approach for nonprofits is passé now. When you need to think about sponsor support as a long-term event where you're building collaborations, bring in your potential sponsor and let them help you strategize for a greater value. Also, visit the Philantrepreneur.com, where we have opportunities to have ads or be sponsors for our show. That is www.thephilantrepreneur.com. Visit that for all of the future shows and things coming up. Heidi, tell us about who's coming up on our next show.
We Wednesday, October 2nd at 8 a.m. Pacific time, we welcome Susan Dane Satine of Smart Women International. She teaches how to do what you most love, grow business revenues, and further a worthy cause all at once, and she is a lot of fun. So thank you again for joining us for the full.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have so much fun. This is great. It's nice being with you today.
Well, thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you for tuning in to the Philantrepreneur Radio Show, hosted by Dr. Victoria Boyd. Get involved. Follow us on Facebook and other social media outlets. If you wish to share comments or suggestions or appear as a guest on our show, visit www.thephilantrepreneur.com. Contact Victoria Boyd. Email her at theboyd@thephilantrepreneur.com. The Philantrepreneur Radio Show is a production of and sponsored by the Philantrepreneur Foundation, a 501c3 tax-deductible organization.